what is a thesis? Who writes it? Why do we have this? What are we talking about? So that everybody has the same foundation.
Yeah, a really good question. And I have an answer, which I've put up here as well, with a link to a guest blog that I actually did for Joellen and the team at First Editing once upon a time, that answers this question. So what is a dissertation and thesis? And again, the specific details of a dissertation or thesis will differ from institution to institution and from discipline to discipline. So the technical elements might be different from place to place, but broadly, there's a sense of uniformity. So a thesis or dissertation, generally speaking, refers to a research paper at the master's degree level, and a dissertation generally refers to a much longer book-length research project at the doctoral level. So often a thesis could be somewhere between 20 and 60 pages. A doctoral dissertation can be upwards of 300 pages. However, often these two terms are used interchangeably. So in some countries, a master's thesis is also called a dissertation. In some countries, a PhD dissertation is also called a thesis. And so ultimately, the terms can be interchanged, but in both cases, whether it's a master's thesis or dissertation, it will be shorter in length and it will kind of tackle one specific problem, one component part. If it's a PhD, dissertation, or thesis, it's going to be much longer and it'll be a multi-year research project. So again, both of them refer to graduate work. So whether it's a master's or a PhD, those are considered graduate degrees. And whether it's a dissertation or a thesis, it refers to conducting independent research with the help of a supervisor and committee, and writing up that independent research with the help of a supervisor and committee. So it's really the first step on your journey to being a scholar. And so if an undergraduate degree is the degree that you complete upon finishing high school or secondary education, then the graduate degree, or sometimes it's referred to postgraduate, depending on your context, is that next step. So what happens when you're being invited to be somewhat of an independent researcher? So again, as Joellen said, we want to all be kind of on the same page, but there's nuance in here. So a dissertation thesis refers to something at the master's or PhD level, and the scope of each is what's going to differentiate the two of them. So usually a master's project is going to be shorter and more limited in scope, and a PhD project will be longer and more extensive in scope.
Exactly.